Here's a little bit of a walking tour video, part of the coal camp of Sewell, West Virginia. I didn't get all the town in this trip. Oh, by the way, those cinder blocks foundation to whatever that was probably from the 1930s, because it wasn't until the 1930s when cinder block was common. Thought I'd point that out. But Sewell was situated in the heart of the New River Canyon at the mouth of Mans Creek on the main line of the C&O Railroad. The town was named after Stephen Sewell, who came to Greenbrier County with Jacob Marlene in the 1740s. In the 1750s, in the 1750s, Marlene returned east to the settlements, and Sewell came west to the area and explored around Sewell Creek. In the mountains that bears his name, he was never heard from again. It was assumed that he had been killed by Indians. Thought I'd point that out. What's interesting is the first settlers in the New River Gorge was made at Sewell in 1798, where Peter Boyer came to this spot and built a log cabin on the banks of the New River and claimed for himself a patch of ground, planted it in corn, and built a boat operating ferry. After operating the ferry for several years as private cursor, he applied before the General Assembly for the rights to operate it for hire. On January 18, 1806, approval was given and the rates was established. He was permitted to charge a fee of 6 1/4 cents per individual, and the same for horses. Oh, here's the old mine foreman's house up on the hill. For years, I thought that was actually the company store. I found this old mine foreman's house, a mine superintendent's house, something like that. So in a few of my older videos, I found out the company store to find out it's not the company store, which I thought was interesting. Of course, in the 1873, when the Chesapeake and Ohio Railway was completed, the mines opened up a store, and they mined coal from there all the way up to 1955. Of course, they still loaded trains there until like sometime in the mid-1970s, because they were trucking coal from different locations and down the mountain. It's interesting here. You got the vault that's still here, and a lot of cool things about Sewell. There's a fireplace and a fireplace assembly. I don't think this place is 2 stories. I think it's just 1 story. Because you look closer at the fireplace, it didn't look like it had a second floor. I've seen a bunch of fireplaces where I see a first and second floor fireplace. It's very interesting because the coal camp at Berry has that. I think I can film that because I think there's 2 fireplaces about to fall down. They're barely holding together. This place is holding together pretty good, surprisingly. It's in excellent shape. The vault and the fireplace assemblies are almost perfect condition, it seems like. Except for a couple loose bricks at the top there. And down the road here is the engine house of the Mans Creek Railway, which is interesting. Got a foundation down here, I'm not sure what it was for. And then you got the engine house right here, what's left of it. A lot of bricks are gone, so I think people was taking stones, I think people was taking the stonework. If you notice that split second, it looks like somebody's beside me. Nobody was standing next to me when I panned the camera around. Okay, I'm joking. That's just a friend of mine that was there with me. But it's not unusual for me to catch something weird in a photo or weird in a video that I can't explain. That happens to me a lot. I guess it's one of those old abandoned mining towns. You have to expect stuff like that. But the Mans Creek Railway didn't use this engine house very long. I'm not sure exactly when they quit using it. I know that up until they shut down in the mid-1950s, they ended up using the engine house that was underneath the company store, Clifftop Company store. And this place is used by the coal company for the the store and work on trucks and equipment after the engine house shut down by the railroad. Of course, Mans Creek Railway, I forget what year it's built, but up to as late as 1955, it's still being used. Now all that's left there is a rail trail, which is interesting. But it's amazing that it's still there. However, it's still there anyways. That's what's so cool about this. I love exploring these abandoned mining towns. Sewell has a lot left. Barry has a decent amount left too. I think Sewell and Barry, the two I've been to, has the most stuff left. Well, if I think about it, you got the Kmore mine that was restored by the Park Service. Of course, they decided to blow up the coal temple with dynamite and collapse it, instead of trying to restore it and stabilize it. But at least they stabilized and restored the one at Nuttleburg. They could have done the same thing for both Nuttleburg and Kmore, but they decided to not do that Kmore. That's the foundation. I'm not sure what it was for. I'd like to find out more history about Sewell. I just know they mined a lot. They also had the most coke ovens. All the coal mining towns in Newell Gorge still had the most coke ovens for any mining town in Newell Gorge. I believe, if I read right, 195 coke ovens that they had in operation at one time. A lot of towns had between 100 and 150. They should have put 5 more in, made it even 200. Oh well. There's that ginormous rock. One of my friends I was with that day told me he had an old photo showing this building, the building here in that giant rock. And I'm trying to remember what he said it was. I got a few old photos myself that I add in at the end of the video. But I'd like to also point out, if you walk here, the main line in the Chesapeake Ohio Railway, which is now CSX, is still extremely active to this day. Gets a lot of trains. There's the coke ovens at Caperton coke ovens. I had a couple of video clips of the Sewell coke ovens, but they didn't save for some reason, so I had to go back. Oh well. I will be definitely back in Sewell a few more times before spring kicks in and everything blooms out. I think I filmed this video almost a month ago and I'm just now getting it up because I forgot about it. But here comes the old photos. Somebody told me there's a graveyard up here somewhere at Caperton, so I'm going to try to find it. Oh, by the way, that's the coke ovens at Sewell in the rail yard there. If you look closer, you can see the coal temple in the background. Of course, there's a close-up picture of the coal temple, an old wooden temple. I believe the photo was dated in 1926. And there's the old school at Sewell, the school for the white kids. They also had a school for the black kids, too. Oh, look at the pretty fireplace. And there's some pictures of the old engine house, what it looks like today. I'm going to try to find more old photos if I can for a future video. Well, that's a simile for the old mine superintendent's house, a mine foreman's house right here. But if you enjoyed my videos, please like and subscribe to Wallace Trains here on YouTube. Here comes the train. See something besides a long empty coal. A long empty coal.